Miami, 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 Miami. It feels like Miami.
Welcome to the Heat Beat Podcast. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, and with me today, we got our 2K coach and the host of Pregaming and Draft Beat correspondent, Franky G.
And Stream Beat co-founder.
And Stream Beat co-founder. Sorry. You got a lot of stuff, man. You're a media mogul, bro.
Draft Beat mogul, Draft Beat co-founder with Sensabaugh. We are ready to go. We are so excited.
Also, we have Pregaming co-host. We have Saucy Takes, Coach Lu, Draft Beat correspondent as well, holding it down.
Oh man, I am ready. This is low key the most excited I am for anything. This is my fucking Christmas. I live, breathe, draft, and scouting reports. Shout out to Tiff. She's in the chat.
Shout out to Tiff.
And let's get this going, man.
So before we start, and by the way, shout out to people in chat. This is the first time I'm on since the finals. This is the first time I'm on since Game 5 of the finals. Took a break. Want to dedicate today's show and buffoonery to my late grandmother, Giovanna Cello, who I was struggling with during the finals. She passed last Saturday, and I know that she loved what we did, and she was very proud of what we have done over the last 10 years. So want to wish my nonna a goodbye. I love you very much. And let's talk hoops, because that's what she would have wanted. She was OG, and she thought we were hilarious. So thank you to everybody in the chat giving me love. People in the chat really want a rant. I cannot fucking believe these people missed out on another star. This is crazy. It was Father's Day. We had to do an emergency podcast. I don't get it. I'm just sick of it. I cannot believe. How many times is Riley gonna fall asleep? I have coconut oil for how much these people have fucked me. I'm sick and tired of them, but Kyle Lowry stays in Miami.
You know what I thought about that? I kept waiting for somebody to mention, because Brian's tweet about Pat having signed a non-sign and trade free agent in forever, or a star, or whatever. Nobody mentioned Victor Oladipo and how excited everybody was when they got him in the trade. He was the one guy
I forgot that they got him.
For nothing, too.
For nothing.
Oh, my God. Schmeathan says, can't believe Nonna is gone. It should have been G. Absolutely. I put in our group chat, and I've cried a lot, but I've been able to find the humor in my morning, and I put it in the group chat the other day. I go, I can't believe I'm going to lose my Nonna and Kyle Lowry within a week of each other.
And you jinxed it.
Thank God. We're back, baby. The Jett this season lives on, motherfuckers. So let's before we get into draft talk, let's just talk about the news of the day. Damian Lillard is, listen, he's the most loyal. Listen, everybody needs to marry a Damian Lillard. You know, Damian Lillard's as loyal as like a Magic the Gathering nerd. Like, you know, he's never going to cheat on you. He's never going to look at he only has eyes for you and his little figurines of Star Trek. Right?
Sure.
That's Dame Lillard. However, patience seems to run thin. He has not said much outside of an out of context podcast clip where he's like, I don't know, man, Bam's kind of nice, which it's fact. You know, Bam is kind of nice. Also said Mikal Bridges is kind of nice. Admittedly less nice than Bam, but, you know, he's still nice. So we're here. They strike out on Bradley Beal. Immediately, all systems go for Dame Lillard. It would appear that Pat Riley has a very famous saying. I guess it's not that famous, but it was pretty based. When they asked him after the LeBron, they go, well, what happens if you don't get LeBron and Dwayne? Like, what if Dwayne doesn't resign? Like in 2010, you know, what happens? And Riley goes, well, there's no plan B. You know what I mean? So it was a true burn the boats moment for the organization, and it worked, right? And it just seems like they kind of go through this pattern of no plan Bs. And it would appear again, day after day, Beal seemed to be plan B, but the plan A was like chronologically after Plan B. So it all kind of fell apart, right? Right, guys? So I don't know. I have not listened to the show you guys did yesterday yet. I don't know how you guys. Why are you making that face, Lou?
Oh man, I had a fucking soliloquy in there, 5 minutes going off. So I'm not gonna speak too much.
We were doing our intros, and I got to Lou, and Lou just started ranting. He didn't even say hello.
Even let you. He started.
I said, fuck that shit. I need to get this off my chest. I'm a different person. I've zen down today. I stand by everything I said yesterday. They fumbled that bag. They struck out not even swinging. They struck out looking, and that hurts.
They did.
So that's how I feel, G.
I just don't think Dame's leaving. I think that they're gonna try to build a team around him, and that's it. And I think that he's been so like pro staying. Can he just like come out and be like, yeah, I want out? Like, can you do that? Like, can you actually do? Like, can you take the PR hit and do that?
I think so. The jokes are gonna come, but the jokes are there because he's always saying every offseason, he's like, I don't want to run from the grind. I don't want to team up. Exactly. It's always the same stuff every offseason. Kenny makes a joke of it every year. He's saying, you guys are gonna fall for this again. He doesn't want out. This is the first time where he's being a little passive aggressive, taking a page out of LeBron's book and using his guy Chris Haynes to kind of like negotiate through the media and put the pressure on Portland's front office really for like the first time since he's been there. And I can see him asking out. Just because I think Portland's going to use the pick. I don't think they're going to get a deal that they like. The Zion thing is the only thing really worth monitoring. If Scoot goes too, then that's all moot. So, I can see him getting out. I just can't see Miami landing him. I hope I'm wrong. I really want Dame in Miami. That'd be fucking awesome.
He's so culture pilled. He's like the culture guy. He's the guy that you think could fit in, that wants to do all the Heat stuff that, and the organization says it all the time. We're not for everybody. And I think Dame's a guy that will want to be here. You know what I mean? And that's going to embrace the real. I mean, let's be honest. They're fucking psychos, and they'll admit it. Like Spo's. I mean, what did Spo say? We'll tip off on Evers if we have to, motherfuckers. See you there. And that's not just shtick. Like that's just him, bro. And they're all wired that way. So I think he'd fit here, but I just don't see it happening. I actually think it's more likely that Portland just says, bro, get out of here. I think that's more likely than Dame being like, yeah, I need to go. I think Portland's more likely to do that because he's 32, by the way. He's a 32-year-old point guard who is not very big and doesn't play defense. And that tends to not age well. And remember, he was an above-the-rim guy before. I mean, before he was logo Lillard, he was dunking point guard Lillard. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how that's going to age. And if you're Portland, if I'm Miami, that might be my only hope. I don't know that he ends up with Miami. I do think, and this is the last thing I'm going to say on this, and we'll move to draft stuff. I do think that the way the people are talking about the organization is weird. Now, Leif is the organizational shill, right? We know, we love Leif. He's the guy who shows the organization. I think I lean a little bit more, I trust the organization, but it's not like I'm fucking waving pom-poms for them because right. I think I've been fairly critical of them. Like I'll never forget when people talk about the Mike Miller thing. Them salary dumping Mario Chalmers was the most grimy shit I think the organization has ever done. You don't have a campaign about family because that season that was the whole family can't lifer campaign, and then you salary dump like a guy you drafted. Or a guy that's been here since his rookie year, like a guy that won championships. That's a fucking lifer. That's a franchise icon. And you salary dump him for some change in the luxury tax. That's worse than the Mike Miller thing. Because the Mike Miller thing, let's not forget, LeBron co-signed the amnesty. So it's not just, you know what I mean? So there's some stuff there. So I'm critical with the Dwayne thing. I was like, just fucking pay Dwayne the money. Don't give it to Tyler Johnson. We've been there everywhere. I think the idea and the people being like, this organization has done nothing since they got Jimmy. That's patently absurd.
Absurd. I agree.
trading for Iguodala and Crowder. By the way, flipping a guy you drafted and re-signed on a team-friendly deal in Winslow and Richardson, by the way, because those guys were drafted, developed, and re-signed for good value contracts. That's organization. They flipped Jay Rich for Jimmy, roundaboutly, and then they flipped Justice Winslow for Iguodala and Crowder, and James Johnson is, I guess, he was more salary.
While salary dumping James Johnson and Dion Waiters.
Yep.
Absolutely. So they do that trade. Those guys are critical to get them to the finals. The next year, they try a couple things that doesn't work. They lose Crowder, which, by the way, not paying Jay Crowder was the right decision, because a lot of times they learned to not give these stupid 4-year deals to role players. We can have a conversation about Duncan, but for the most part, they're just like, we're not giving this guy a James Johnson contract. And I know, and they were right, because he has not been the same guy since.
Right.
We go through the Harkless thing. We go through the Ariza thing. They go, okay, we really need to focus and make the priority to get a power forward next to Bam. They get PJ Tucker. They trade for Kyle Lowry. And everyone's going to say, that guy sucks. That guy's overpaid. The facts are the facts of that. They were over the salary cap. And Kyle Lowry was the premier free agent that season. That was the guy that was a sweepstakes guy. All the good teams wanted him. Whether you feel like it worked out or not, or the contract is fine or not, irrelevant, because that was the guy that every team wanted, and they got him. And they dumped Goran Dragic, who, by the way, we all love Gogi. We don't have to be revisionist about Gogi. I love Gogi. Lou, I know you love Gogi. And Frankie, I know you love Gogi. We all love Gogi. Gogi was on the bench closing that Bucks series, and Kyle Lowry was on the floor making winning plays. Kyle Lowry was on the floor in the finals making winning plays. Kyle Lowry was helping you win games on the road in New York when Jimmy Butler's ankle got bad. So whether or not the contract or whatever, that move was positive. You were the 1 seed. You trade for Oladipo the year prior at the deadline, and you get a guy who helped you make the Eastern Conference Finals last year and who contributed throughout the seasons. So they signed Caleb Martin to a great deal. They make a mistake with Dedmon, and they end up erasing the mistake and signing Kevin Love, and it cost them a second-round pick. And if they had traded a second-round pick for Kevin Love, that worked out. Great. You know why? Because Kevin Love was fucking awesome for them, and he might be back next year. So we can say the franchise might not have been A++, but let's not pretend that they've been like the worst. Are we in like agreement, guys?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I think the Dedmon thing was extra bad because it hampered your season a lot.
Well, he stunk.
But he stunk last year too. Like at the end of last year, there was no. I don't know what they saw. He
was a salary. They just signed.
It was
him
just
to be
a salary,
salary.
but they definitely fucked up last offseason by not by thinking of contracts and not prioritizing some changes. But yeah, no, 100%. They don't bet 1,000, but they're hitting way more than they're missing.
Lou, I'm not saying that they're fucking the prime Bob Meyer Warriors, but I think we could all argue they could have done a couple more things, but the decision to not pay Crowder and to not pay PJ Tucker were correct. Yes. The Duncan contract, we all know that's a mistake. Duncan played well. Duncan's not a bad basketball player. They overpaid for a guy that was coming off a historic year. Whatever. They made a mistake. That happens.
2 years.
Huh?
Historic 2 years.
Yeah.
He was the best catch and shoot shooter in basketball.
He was
because Clay didn't play those years.
He was a
literally
starter.
Statistically, the best catch and shoot player in basketball.
He was a starter for a team that made the finals.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good player, bro. He was a good basketball player that they overpaid for, a guy that they overvalued, and they didn't want to lose him for nothing. It is what it is. Okay, that's fine. That was not the best move, but obviously, again, keeping him helped him contribute last year. This fucking run to the finals. A lot of it was Duncan Robinson and Kyle Lowry bench units fucking hammering teams to hell. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't want to take it, but that's kind of where I am.
Yeah, I entirely agree. Like you said, maybe they're not hitting homers, but they're hitting singles and doubles, and sometimes it hurts because you see other teams theoretically hitting home runs, and you're like, damn, I wish we were them. But at the same time, we've throughout these all the acquisitions you've mentioned, you still like, it's correct. And we still haven't even got into like the player development with Vincent, with Strus, developing guys like Duncan, developing guys, even like Tyler Bam, getting them, Caleb Martin, just being able
Jimmy
to
too,
find,
by the way. I mean,
Yeah,
development
Jimmy as well.
doesn't have to be for young players. I mean, Jimmy's having his best career year after year.
PJ came here and had his best year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those things go under the wayside just
Caleb.
because the players are already on the roster sometimes, but like they've done a very good job of maximizing what they can. And that's why, to your point, G, I thought that's why, Beal was so frustrating, because I feel like that's the one time that they didn't and they should have.
Absolutely. And we could leave it at that. And I think you put it at the best. They don't hit. Even like the guys that they signed, I think the only like fucking surefire, wow, this was amazing, was PJ Tucker. Hand and glove fit. And even then, conference finals comes around and his weaknesses are his weaknesses. Listen, as much as I love Lowry, that wasn't a home run. He's not been the guy in Toronto. He's been a very good role player. He has not been a star. We all acknowledge it. That doesn't mean that he's not good and contributing to winning. And I don't really care about the contract, because at the end of the day, and I've said this a million times, he was absorbed when they decided they were going to keep Duncan. They had to opt into his bird rights. So his cap hold put them over the salary cap, and they had to operate as an over the cap team when they decided that they were going to keep Duncan. Somebody said Kevin Love erasure. Did we not mention Kevin Love? What happened? Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did.
We didn't mention the other white guy they signed, but that's
but I'm still not over those 15 seconds.
Oh my god.
I'm not. I've yet to recover. I keep thinking about that plays over and over in my. I'm still mad at that. You know what it is? When my fucking grandmother just died and I had to fucking deal with Cody Zeller playing 15 seconds. I'm like, I cannot, bro. It was like, well, how much? Why does it keep getting worse? So yeah, just that's kind of my spiel on the org, and kind of everything that's happened, with that. And I just kind of wanted to kind of get that out there before we hit the draft. So, boys, draft beat, as Moose says, as Schmeaton says, still not over those 15 seconds. Every one of G's exes. Schmeaton's been on fire today.
I said that under my breath, but I was like, no. I was like, G just talked about his grandma passing. I gotta give him some slack.
Listen, humor is how I cope. If not, I cry. So boys, draft beat. Now they keep pick 18, correct?
For right now,
pick 18. Yeah. They keep 18, which means the draft beat agenda is still on. We were on life support coming into Sunday. We were like, listen, the dream of draft beat was almost dead.
Oh my god, our draft beat chat was throwing little fist bumps because we were like, all this hard work we've been doing is not for naught.
The brass jazz.
But I mean, we were also kind of like we were sad about Beal, but we're like, at least we get positive spin.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, not Lou had to find that positive spin later.
Yeah, it definitely took me a second. And I was one of the people that was like, man, trade Jovic, keep pick 18.
Yeah.
So the fact that they didn't do either just pissed me off even more. That wasn't, that is what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, listen, if you're a longtime Heat Beat listener, you're aware that I don't like college basketball. I don't know shit about the draft. I don't know anything. I don't want to prepare for the draft. I don't know anything about the draft. I don't know who any of these You can sit up here and make up a bunch of names. Is Scoot Henderson a real person? I don't know. I assume he is because I hear people tweet about him. I don't know what that motherfucker. Do I know what Wembanyama look like? Hell no. I don't even know what college he plays for. I don't know anything about Wembanyama. So
when G heard about Rui Hachimura, he thought somebody was trying to get him with a fake anime character.
I was like, I go, what show is he from?
Yeah. He's like, is that the new season of Dragon Ball Z? Yeah. I haven't watched.
They say he's a basketball player. I was like, is Kuroko no Basket have a new season that I don't know about? Like, what's going on here? So I don't know shit. But my co-hosts do know shit. So what we're gonna do is they're gonna teach me. They came up with a list of 5. We're gonna go Frankie. We'll go like Franky Lu. We'll get to like a top 5 of like guys that Miami might target. And I'm gonna ask some questions. Chat, if you have questions, you ask. We're all gonna learn together. We have a panel of experts. And that's what we're here for. All right, Frankie. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you, you have seniority right now. I'm going to let you go. Who's on your draft board? Who's a guy that you think that Miami should get? Who's like the number one guy? Let's do like your number one guy.
Let's go.
Oh man, there's no like clear cut number one guy in that spot right now for me. Everybody has their pros and cons. I'm gonna start with Moose's guy though. This is the guy Moose has been really annoying about before his second most annoying guy, Jordan Hawkins, shooting guard from the University of Connecticut. Shout out to Dos Minutos. He's an elite shooter. He's possibly the best shooter, arguably the best shooter in the class. It's between him and Grady Dick, probably. But
Gravy what?
Grady Dick,
Dick.
a real player. Yeah.
You haven't seen the tweets going around in Orlando? It's called the hashtag Magic Dick. Man, I don't know what they're doing over there.
I'm hoping somehow Charlotte or Chicago gets him, so they have the Dick and Ball backcourt. But Jordan Hawkins, he's used very similarly to like Duncan. I think him and I'll talk about the Michigan kid, Juwan's son, Jett Howard too. They're very similar in how they're used.
Alejandro in chat says the Suggs dick backward.
The Suggs dick backward.
So
okay, we did this guy here. We did this guy in Orlando. Make it happen.
Let's go. But he's a movement shooter. He's a spot up shooter. You can use him either way. He shot 38.8% on difficult shots. He shot 82.1% last year from the line.
How much from the line? Because that's the big indicator usually.
82.1 last year, 88.7 this year. He shot 49.4% on catch and shoot threes this season. An elite number. He reads defenders well. He'll read the curls and the cuts when they're there. When the help is forced hard, he'll make the right reads and passes it. Good team defender. He guards 1 through 3 in college. He's capable. He gets a lot of on-ball blocks, which that's a real nice sign. His textbook defender. Beats his guys to the spot, uses his chest, doesn't do the Duncan hands thing overly, moves his feet well. My concerns with him come on elsewhere. He's not a great finisher, 47.6% at the rim. He should have better touch. I think he just needs work on the runners. He's shot 1 for 13 on runners. That should be a lot better for a shooter with his touch. You were gonna say
inexplicable.
Yeah,
no, I was gonna say that 1 for 13 on runners was wild, considering he has a burner.
Yeah,
like everywhere else.
Exactly, and I think that might just be something where he's not really used to taking those kind of shots. Might be used to the pull-ups and hasn't really developed that. But his touch is great enough that I think he can work on that. He doesn't really show much on his handle. He's more of a off-ball guy, like very similar to Duncan. He's not going to beat you off the dribble and stuff like that. He's going to make his reads. He's not a great athlete. He's a decent one. Like I think he's about an average NBA athlete. He can dunk. He likes to run the floor in transition and stuff. He'll get a lob dunk here and there. But I don't think he's a special athlete in any regards. But he's for pick 18. He's a very solid option. Moose is absolutely obsessed with this guy. Yeah. Not as obsessed as his new man, him and Goins' new man crush, but we'll get to that guy later. But I think Hawkins is a really solid pick, especially if they do end up moving Duncan.
So Van Hype's asking what's the wingspan, and they're hoping it's not hero alligator arms.
6'7".
Yeah, he didn't officially measure. I couldn't find that he'd officially measure, but it's like around 6'7", 6'8". It's not bad. It's not a negative wingspan.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a very good guy. Like he stated, everything he said was spot on. He's a great movement shooter, and he's like literally just like the best shooter in the draft. Like hands down, no question. I agree. Again, his ISO thing does need work. I feel like he can't really. I would like for his passing to be better out of his double teams, and that's kind of one of my reasons why I'm like kind of iffy on him. I like at 18, I'd take him too, but it's not my guy. It's not my guy.
I have a question, Frankie. So It sounds to me like he's like Duncan, except he's not as good a passer or a finisher. He's a better defender. And he plays 2, which is not a super position in need for them. They need a wing. Why are you just doing best player available, or do you just really want the shooting fit around Jimmy and Bam?
A little bit of both. I think best player. There's a very good case for him to be the best player available at that spot. There's definitely guys with more upside, but as far as a guy who's ready to contribute now, who could still probably tune up and be a better player in the NBA, I think he's one of the better options at that spot. I fully expect them. Like personally, I think all of us on Draft Beat really agreed that they probably let Max go, and we're expecting at least one of Tyler and Duncan to go. So they're going to lose some shooting. They need to get some back. If they keep 18, getting another shooter, especially one who kind of makes Duncan a little easier to move off of because of how much he brings, I think it's a fair option. He's not my number one guy. Like I definitely there's a case for a couple other guys that I like a little bit more that brings a little bit more diversity, but we'll get to those guys.
That's interesting. Sir. Yeah, because I wouldn't have thought. Obviously, they need shooting. It's funny because they have good shooters, but they also need shooting, and
they need consistent shooters. And this guy's very good.
We don't know who's walking out the door as well, right? Yeah. So that's like, are they keeping Gabe? Are they going to need a point guard, or not? And if they move Kyle, and if they move Kyle and Gabe doesn't stay, now all of a sudden. What are you looking at, John Booyah?
Jamari
Booyah.
I was watching. So there's a couple of G League Ignite prospects that are projected around this area. I'll get to one of them. So I was watching G League versus the Skyforce, and I'm just like, man, Jamari Booyah is making so many fucking plays in this game. I want this guy to be on the team.
You're so. And listen, the Heat projects usually take a year before they get in the rotation. So. Like Max, Duncan. Duncan was here for a few years.
Gabe as well.
Kendrick Nunn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, Kendrick played right away.
No, he signed in the offseason.
Yeah.
He signed the day before the last day of the season.
Yeah,
and then he was able to have the whole offseason with us. Not a whole year, but yeah.
So that's interesting. All right, Lou. Who you got as your guy?
So this is interesting because there's a lot of players that I really, really like that have fallen to our range. Hawkins has fallen to our range sometimes, but the hard part about giving you guys a list is we don't know how the draft is going to play out. So I just got to go with the guy that is so I've scouted 44 people. He has Christ. A top 5 grade. And he's projected, anywhere I've seen him as high as 11 and as low as 18, which is where we're drafting. It's Colby Bufkin, man. I have to talk about this guy. I'm sorry, G. I know we said we weren't going to do it yet because, maybe he doesn't fall there. He is literally insane. He's a 6'4" guard, came from Michigan. He's a sophomore, but he's younger than Brandin Miller, who's projected the 3rd pick, and he's a one and done. He's just 19 years old, 190 pounds, 6'8" wingspan. Let me see how I explain this guy. I don't think he has a weakness. I genuinely.
Why is this guy not projected to go top 10?
So he's been He has been very selective on his workouts.
Yes,
there are a lot of teams trying to get him in private workouts, and he's just been very shut down. Him and his agent are there. There's a lot of talk that there's a promise in the lottery. That's why, Leif somebody asked Leif about him, and he denied the Heat a workout because he's projected. He's expecting to go lottery. I think OKC is probably the team. Lou says he would be surprised Toronto or Washington.
Or Washington at 8. I'm taking this guy in the top 6 personally. But man, it's just so much. He finishes 71% at the rim for a 6'4" guard is crazy. He's lefty. He can shoot the 3-pointer shot, 85% at the free throw line, 36% at 3-point shooter, attacks closeouts well, can finish with either hand, has a good runner. And am I just talking about offense? Should we talk about defense? Best shot blocking guard in college basketball last year, amongst the top 2 of them. Just a straight menace defensively at the point of attack. I genuinely I was looking at him and I seen he was the 14th player I graded, and I was like, this guy's low key better than Scoot Henderson. But I'll get to that another day. I'm so serious. I wasn't a fan of Scoot, but that he's irrelevant because we're not taking him, man. But I think the biggest comparisons for him is I do think offensively he's kind of like a Tyrese Maxey kind of player because he can play make. He can do some one stuff. He can do some 2 things. How consistently he can get to those is kind of going to be the biggest key. But I think if that's his upside, is somebody who can give you 20 to 22, which I do think it is, and provide elite point of attack defense, man, I don't see a reason. Shit, if I was a Heat, I'd kind of try to trade up for him, but that's another point, man. That's just my guy. Like this is the guy. I haven't felt this confident on a player. I've never wanted a guy more on the Heat since Donovan Mitchell back in when we drafted Bam, when they traded one pick in front of us, and I audibly screamed "fuck" in the middle of the draft party.
Hey, it turned out okay.
Yeah, no, thankfully, but Donovan Mitchell, I'd say, was pretty good too. I'm not gonna lie.
It worked out. It worked out for both teams. So,
but yeah, that's the guy. That's
Young
my guy. That's
Tikaranda
my
in
baby.
chat says, "I'm really surprised y'all are looking at guards first, considering the cost to talk about lack of front court depth."
Oh, we'll get to the wings. Like,
Yeah,
it's just a couple guys first.
This is just my guy. I feel like there's a lot more.
Well, you really wanted to sing this guy's praises because it just sounds like this guy's not going to be there.
Yeah, I would bet a good amount of money that he's not.
I would say
chance he's not there.
I was gonna say 90% chance he's probably not there.
Lou was but I can dream.
You never know. No, I'm going to dream. That's until I see him get taken off the board. I will continue to believe. But it's just I feel like there's no centers in this draft particularly. I think it's kind of a weak center draft. So it's a lot of like guards and wings, like big wings. So it's like a lot of tweeners. Yeah, so it's very interesting for Miami.
All right, Frankie. Well, let's go to your next guy. So we got two guys on the board. One of which Lou's pie in the sky. That's Loom's Damian Lillard.
That's my dream, man. We don't need Dame. We need Kobe.
We don't need Dame. We need Kobe. The real whale.
I like one of the guys that I liked early on in the process before I got into more research. Chris Murray out of Iowa. He's a twin brother of Keegan Murray, who, if you know, he was one of the best rookie players last year. He was a top 5 pick for the Kings. Very successful player.
Played really well in the playoffs.
He did. Chris was a little bit more of a late bloomer. He had to go to prep school out of high school, and then Iowa eventually offered him as well. He's improved every year, which I really like, and I think the Heat really value. He was a bench guy his first year in Iowa. He was the most improved second year. He was a really good role player for that team with his brother. They were really dynamic. And then this year, he was the star of the team. He averaged 20 points per game. And he's just one of those guys who's really solid all around. Like, he doesn't have a ton of weaknesses, especially for this spot. You know, he's got really good size, 6'8", 7-foot wingspan, 8'10" standing reach. He's able to post up mismatches, has really good touch in the post, shot 59% in the post, 66.1 at the rim, 63.3 in the half court. He uses his body well defensively. He's a good team defender, good off the ball defender. They were comfortable sticking him on the ball. He averaged 1.2 blocks and 1 steal a game, which stocks are usually a great indicator of success in the NBA. My things with him, though, is the shooting consistency. He needs to be better than that. Last year, he did shoot 38.7% from 3, which I feel encouraged about that, because last year he was a role player, and that's what his likely thing in the league is going to be. He's probably going to be the 4th or 5th option on as a starter. He's a 4th or 5th option in all likelihood. But he didn't shoot well this year. 33.5%. He shot bad from the free throw line. 64.5 last year. 72.9%. And this year shot 33.5 on catch and shoots. I don't think the form is too bad. I think just the role was really miscast for him, which, you know, a lot of role guys are stars.
Is he a standstill guy?
He's more of a standstill guy, spot up guy, but he can do other things. He's a good cutter, good feel for the game. He's better suited off the ball. He can't create his own shot, but like I said, he's good in the post on a mismatch. So you can't just hide a guard on him. And he has a good frame. I think he could put on more weight. He's probably a 3 to start, but he can definitely play some small ball 4. I think long term he's going to be a 4 more than a 3.
Lou, did you have something to add?
No, yeah, I think he's again. This is another
flipping through notes.
Oh man, I have a fucking bro.
That's so fucking funny. I was like, that's so old school, bro. It's not even a Google Doc. This man is a scout in the fucking.
We got both.
In like a rural county in Nebraska.
Hell yeah, man. We doing this out here. No, but I love him. Like you said, very smooth player.
I'm sorry. This is so funny. Oh, no, wait. Listen, we've just never, I was on the phone with somebody today and they're like, like you would never show up to your podcast unprepared or anything. So, like, why are you going to do this unprepared? And I'm thinking, I show up to my podcast unprepared all the fucking time. Lou over here with notes.
I got notes, man. 76 pages, and I counted them. Yes, sir.
Binders full of women.
Just binders. No, but yeah, I really like him. I'm shocked you didn't go with somebody else, but I'm gonna leave that person to you because you're the one
this
who
isn't
put
my
me
number
on.
2 guy. I'm just picking.
Yeah. I know. But I'm gonna leave the guy that you know.
Yeah, leave the guy I really want to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna leave you that guy. But he's great, man. Like he doesn't really have a flaw. I feel like Chris Murray does. I like the way he actually when they try to guard him. Yeah, but even his jumper, I don't think his jumper is bad. He's just he's a set shooter.
Well, Dwayne's jumper wasn't bad either, but
no, but he has good form. He has his feet set. Like everything's great. It's just more consistency.
Yeah. He's a 2-year player. This past year, he shot 34% on like catch and shoot, which is a little bit below average. He was also given a much larger role. Last year is more of a spot up role. He shot 39% in catch and shoot. So it's definitely there. And you can tell the form is very nice. It's just, with more responsibility, I guess probably got a little more tired, but he doesn't I like him because he doesn't really have a flaw. Doesn't have anything that's going to wow you. Just a very somebody you can plug and play from day one. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly. Moose, I'll get to the guy I really like later. But Moose really likes this guy, and we were going back and forth on this guy on Murray a lot because Murray's just solid all around. There's not a lot of weaknesses. I think he's the guy most likely to plug and play anywhere in the league. Every team would like to have a guy like Murray, especially off the bench. Just solid all around. He's definitely a rotation guy in the league. It's just I don't think he has a ton of upside because of that. He's a very safe pick, which the Heat can afford to take a chance on a little bit more talent, but I think it's a perfectly fine pick. I would not be mad if they took Chris Murray.
It sounds to me that he fills a position of need, which is huge for me. I think they need that kind of guy who could play defense. I'm a little worried by you guys talking about the shooting. That's a little concerning to me. I think you want to make sure that that the shooting is good, especially at that position next to Jimmy and Bam. So to me, that makes me a little nervous. But I do like everything else you guys said.
The most Lou mentioned the how well he did last year. Since he's going to be a role player last year, I think he's more likely to be a little bit more focused on those opportunities and be a little bit more consistent. I'm confident he's going to be a good, solid NBA player. That's where I completely fine with him. I just don't know how much better he's gonna get. I don't see an elite skill at anything he does, or potential for an elite skill. Which it's fine for 18. But go ahead, Lou. Who's your next guy?
I'm gonna go with the other Michigan guy, the guy who was playing next to Colby Bufkin. But it also allows me to talk a little bit more about Kobe. No, I'm kidding. But no, it's Jett Howard. It's Juwan Howard's son. Yeah. So Juwan Howard's son. You would think he picked up some kind of culture and played defense, but it's the complete opposite. This man is just a fucking sniper. The difference between him and somebody, he doesn't have a wingspan listed, but he's 6'8", 215. And just an absolute fucking burner in every moment. He was one of the highest volume 3-point shooters and still shot 37% from 3, 38.5% as catch and shoot, 80% from the line. He can shoot while moving. He's basically a light-skinned Duncan Robinson.
That's literally what Mo Samba in chat just said.
Yeah, light-skinned Duncan Robinson. He needs to be a little stronger. I do think everybody's making a lot about his defense and that his defense isn't good. Michigan had this fucking center. I can't remember his name. I think it's Dickinson or Parkinson or something son. And he was a fucking turnstile defensively. I think a lot of his Jett Howard's weaknesses was he was just trying to do so much because this center could not move. But I think I like him a little bit more than Hawkins just due to size. I think he has more defensive upside, more upside in general because he has a little bit of wiggle to him. He can, kind of create his own shot a little bit. He has the range. Yeah. It's just the biggest thing for him is honestly going to be just defensively. How much can he improve? Because I do think he's a very good playmaker. And the biggest reason I'm a fan of him is actually because in Michigan they ran very similar concepts to what the Heat are running. So a lot of like double, screens to DHO. So he's coming straight to his right hand, and he was just making the correct reads in those plays every time. He does have some cons, but man, like honestly, at pick 18, somebody, Juwan Howard's son, somebody that you already have a lot more intel on. He used to work out there when he was 15 years old at the arena. So like the Heat know their due diligence. They didn't have to bring him in for a workout because he's been working out there for years.
Exactly. I like this kid a lot. Everything Lu said was right. I also want to add 52.9% on the mid-range pull-up.
Stupid.
Like he's got a really good shot.
What's his
man.
size again? What are his measurables again?
6'7", no wingspan listed though. 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah, 6'8",
6'7"
215 is
not
what I have.
bad. Like that's a good size.
No. He's a
That's
2 or a
3.
3.
Right?
Yeah, he's
No,
a 2 or
I
a
think
3.
I think you play him at the. Duncan's
At
that
the
size.
3.
Yeah, he's like Duncan size, I guess.
Yeah, 6'8",
Yeah.
215.
And like Lu said, the concepts Michigan ran were like exactly like it's like literally watching with the Heat play. It's gonna be so easy and familiar for him to jump in here.
He just needs to add a little bit. Like he needs to get stronger, which is it's a theme with a lot of people that I saw. Is like they're all young.
But what do you
So
think
that's
Heat
a good
culture's
thing.
about?
Exactly. And another thing is they kept making an emphasis on how bad his screen navigation is, man. But he just couldn't get around screens because that center. They made the screen navigation look worse because that center kind of
Schmeaton
sucks.
Smolnik says he's Little Mermaid Duncan.
Hey, I don't fucking hate it. I think I think that's pretty fair, honestly. I think he's more polished than Duncan when we got Duncan. And I think he's kind of the same level player now.
I mean,
Oh,
Duncan.
man.
Duncan
But
was.
he has
Can he
ISO
take
potential.
Drew Holiday off the dribble?
I think he probably can because he has a little bit more ISO potential. Can he slash? He has a better runner than Jordan Hawkins. He's not exactly a great finisher. I don't think he's a bad finisher
Duncan's
either.
a good finisher.
He's just Duncan is a good finisher. But,
That's the craziest development of his career.
Crazy.
Those fucking high off the glass layups.
He
they
also
just drop.
he also had a center parked in the middle of the paint like most kids do in college. Like the spacing is fucking horrible sometimes.
That's
no
why I
matter how
don't
much
watch
they
that
try to-
shit. It's unwatchable. I'm used to
So-
watching even the Heat Caesarean section offense, bloody and ugly, and it's way more beautiful. It looks like ballet compared to college basketball.
No, yeah, and the I guess the biggest knock on him is Michigan was better when he was off the floor because he got hurt for some time.
Just
but during
like
that time, that he was
just
off-
like the Nuggets and Jokic in the finals.
exactly, man. So that he was their second best player. I feel very comfortable saying that. I think the reason they were better when he was off the floor is because Kobe Bufkin was ridiculous those 12 games. So
That's your guy. That's your guy.
yeah, nah.
So
Michigan.
We've super leaned into shooting. I feel like you guys feel like shooters at that spot are going to be available, and Miami is going to have a pick at a guy to sling it from distance.
I think it's kind of some of it is that. I just think another part of it is I don't think that he can afford to take another like a project pick here. I think they have to be kind of careful. And like you stated, I think the thing that makes you feel most comfortable about playing a player in today's league is A, can he shoot, and B, can he defend? And
Those
shooting
things
is a
will
lot
keep
more
you on the
important.
court.
Exactly. Those things will keep you on the court. And like as much as maybe Jordan Hawkins, I don't like him as much as definitely not as much as Moose. He can shoot the shit out the ball. So he will find a way to get minutes.
Yeah.
What is Frankie? What is his DIH? What is that dog?
He's a competitor, man. He's not. Sometimes sons of NBA kids can be kind of soft, just because they've been handed to it like easily, like they didn't have to get it out the mud. But he fights. Like Jawan is not allowing that shit to be easy in there. He makes him work. He's not playing because he's the son of the coach.
He's
There you
earned
go.
it. He's earned it. Frankie.
Yeah.
Who you got? Who you got next? So we've done. This is our fifth or fourth.
You should have started with this guy, Frankie, please.
Actually, I'm gonna go with one of my favorite guys right now, and then the next one is going to be my like high upside guy that I don't think they'll go for, but I can see them going for. Olivier-Maxence Prosper, small forward out of Marquette.
Marquette.
Done,
Now
I
we're
fucking
talking,
love
baby.
this guy. Oh man,
we
yes,
love
sir.
this guy. He's got great size. He was listed at 6'7" without shoes. He's got a 7'1" wingspan, 40-inch vert. He's a fluid athlete. He's not like an explosive athlete, but he takes great strides. He looks comfortable taking it. His defense. This guy, his defense, his like all NBA potential, all defense potential. Like, they had this guy guarding wings. He guarded Cam Whitmore, who's going to be a top 5, top 6 pick in this draft. He guarded Jordan Hawkins. He guarded
Shut that
Colby
shit
Jones.
down. Shut that shit down.
He's able to get skinny. He reminds me of a lot of OG and Anunoby on defense, like that kind of potential defensively. He's got great size, great strength. Just at that size, getting around screens and bothering shooters. Uses his body well, uses his length, his wingspan, gets steals, gets blocks. Runs the floor hard in transition. He's like the optimal fifth option on the team. Just he's gonna run in transition. He's gonna cut when it's there. He's gonna spot up. He's gonna be ready. He's improved a lot on his spot up shooting. That was one of the things that he was working on the most. And he's comfortable with it. It's like night and day how much he's worked on it. I love how much he's competed. This guy has gone to like 15 to 20 different teams to work out for them to prove that he's gonna fucking do it. He played at the combine workouts. Like this guy is like a Heat guy, just a flat out fucking Heat guy.
DIH.
Yeah, he's got that dog in him for
100%. 100%.
This is the most Miami Heat guy probably in that area. The only issues are the shooting consistency, which I feel comfortable because he's really worked at it, and the free throws are good. He shot 31.7% last year. His first year, he shot 16%. He went 16% to 31.7.
That's still bad.
No. But
this was 3 years ago because he's a junior.
Yeah, he's a junior. So he hit 31.7% last year, 33.9% this year, 33.3% on catch and shoot. But he shot 82% from the free throw line last year, 73.5 this year. Like, I think the form is good. He just needs to keep working at it. He's got it consistent. It looks solid. It's not like a break it down and remake the shot. It's there. He just needs to keep getting reps on it. He's not a self-creator. He's never going to be more than a fifth option. His handle's okay, but it's not really of like he's like a grab and go guy, hit ahead and run the floor hard kind of guy, instead of like I could beat my man off the dribble. He'll attack a closeout well though, and he's such a fluid athlete with long strides. He'll dunk on people. That it's great at 18 to get an all defense kind of potential guy. Like that might be worth it. Me and Lu, this is the guy me and Moose were arguing about him over Murray. Like Murray's solid all around, but this guy might be elite on one end, and that sways me.
Hey man, the best way I can say this was if we traded for Bradley Beal and we got him, we were getting a championship. It was that fucking simple. He is the most perfect role player.
Those are words.
No,
bro.
I realistically, Bufkin is my pipe dream. This is the guy I want as well at 18. I fully agree. Frankie told me him, and they were kind of talking about him in the chat because they were a little bit ahead of me on certain players, and I was like, oh, it's just gonna be a Marquette guy. Like they were piping him up because he's a man. I was fucking incorrect. I was wrong. I have like in big ass capital letters: effort, hustle, motor, and heart. Like he is fucking passion on the floor. Extremely athletic, guards. I think he can guard 1 through 5. Some 5s, maybe not all 5s, but just a menace defensively. He doesn't get many steals and blocks because that's not his job.
Sandwich goes so Jared Vanderbilt with a little bit of shooting.
No. His jumper isn't broken, guys. Like a lot can be made out because maybe the percentages aren't there, but sometimes you could just tell when a jumper is just like he's definitely improved, and that's something that's impressive. And another thing that's impressive, I like his role in Marquette wasn't really to like create and be a creator. So maybe that part of his game isn't where you'd like it to be, but he went to the combine and where everybody's basically just trying to go and, playing scrimmages, and he put up 21 points and he was getting to the rim off the dribble. and it was nice to see. He would be a dream pick for me aside from Kobe Bufkin. I literally don't think he has any weakness defensively, and offensively for his role in the NBA, I think he is perfect.
So how does it fit with Bam? Because whenever you're looking at guys in the 6'8" range, you want to know how does he fit with your star, and really how he fits in between, your two stars, Jimmy and Bam.
He can shoot from the corners. He can shoot above the break. Like I said, he attacks the closeouts. He's gonna make the right reads. Like he's not. I think I think there was something on him. Like he was a guard that hit a growth spurt, kind of one of those kind of deals. That's why he's so good on defense, point of attack. Yeah, but he's legitimately a point of attack guy at 6'7". But he can also comfortably guard like wings and stuff.
He can switch. He can switch. And it's not a mismatch.
It's a fucking havoc. Like him in this system would be a menace.
He would so much pressure off of Jimmy Butler and Bam. I know you talked about offensively, but defensively, bro, they can literally relax when he's on the floor. It's that serious, Frankie. G, just insane. And I actually have some numbers. There's some guy who he has a database for shooting. He only took 7 attempts above the break from NBA range. He made 5 of them this year, and he shot 48 in the corner. He made 18 for 37.5%. Very solid at his role is the best way I can put it.
Exactly. And this, like we said, this is the guy that the effort is there. The work ethic is there. He's going to get better. The results have shown themselves. He's gotten better every year in college. I'm very confident this guy is going to be a very good NBA rotation player.
That's the guy. So far, I think he's the guy I've most liked that you've talked about, other than the fucking number one pick sounding guy that Lou tried to sell over here. Chat says Oliver and Bam would be chef's kiss together.
Yes.
From precious to prosper.
Will be
Yes, he guards 1 through. I think he guards some 5s. And the crazy thing is, he's not even into he's only 21 compared to some 3-year guys that are 20,
older guys.
Chris Murray's 23. Another guy that I really like is 23. He's young enough towards where he still has upside, and his athleticism is through the roof. He's probably the best athlete we've talked about, I think.
Well, they need athleticism, and I think that
exactly.
I think if you look at the Heat, you can say, maybe you can, depending on how some stuff shakes out, they need shooting or this and that. I think most definitely, without a doubt, they need athleticism. I think you saw that in the finals, and I think you kind of saw that in the regular season. They need minutes eaters.
Huh? He's a spark. Yes. He's think about how Derek Jones and Caleb just kind of threw energy off the bench. That's the kind of guy he is.
They need that. They need more of that. They need these guys that are gonna fucking fly. Because by the way, Caleb's graduated from energy guy.
Oh, 100%.
Caleb,
that's no longer his role.
Ethan Skolnick on 5 Reasons is talking about fucking Caleb's gonna be an isolation guy next year. I'm like, wait, what? I slow down
we'll
this, but
see.
Pump the brakes.
But G, I think we have to temper expectations for this spot. There's been really good guys that have been picked at 18, but right now, if you can get a guy who's a good role player,
you just want a contributor
who can grow. I think that's an ideal selection, and he's one of the guys that we all feel he can be a role guy right now, and there's potential for growth.
Unfortunately,
if you get a first team all defense guy at 18. Gee, you're fucking
no, of course. And the thing with them is that obviously they're in the situation where can we get a guy that can contribute in a deep playoff run? Can we get a guy that's going to see minutes? Because the other reality is that they're tight on salary right now, right up against the second apron and everything. And whatever the $5 million, $6 million, whatever the first round pick gets, you can't have that money rotting on your bench when you're trying to win a title. Right. So it's can this guy give me a couple minutes in a playoff game and not, you don't want a Boston Peyton Pritchard situation where it's okay, we can't do this, or a Cody Zeller situation. Although Spo sure as hell tried.
When you go all defense, you need to stop. You don't have to put Max Strus. No disrespect to Max, but you don't have to put Max Strus because you got.
Don't even talk because Haywood Highsmith was right there.
Yeah, no, but now you get to put Highsmith, Prosper, Jimmy, and Bam. And Caleb, that's versatility.
What about Kyle?
he can enjoy being a Portland Trailblazer.
Whoa.
Let him know, Frankie.
Whoa.
Boo, next guy. Get into it.
How many more guys do we have? Because we're already.
Ooh, probably like,
I got 2 more guys.
Are they the same
Yeah,
2 that
I'd
Lou
say-
would have?
I don't think so.
All right, Lou, let's go rapid fire. Who do you got?
got you. So the other guy I'm actually gonna go for a wild card is gonna be Colby Jones.
Another Kobe.
But this is
COLB.
COLB. Why? Yeah, I just like Kobe, guys. No, but he's like a point guard, shooting guard, 6'5", 200 pounds, 6'8" wingspan, 3-year starter.
Bulldog point guard.
Yeah, 3-year
Oh,
starter
no,
at
Pitbull
Xavier.
point guard.
Yeah, there you go. Shot 42.5% on catch and shoot threes last year. Very good at the rim. I feel like the biggest takeaway from him is he has no weakness. He does everything moderately.
How many
to,
guys
like,
have
very
no
good.
weakness, Lou?
No,
It's
like
him and Murray.
It's just
really.
him and Kobe.
yeah,
It's
no,
both Kobe's.
obviously
It's
Kobe.
both guys.
But like,
Bufkin.
no, like he's not some guy who has like crazy potential. He's just also somebody who's you're gonna plug into your system and you're gonna be like the biggest comp I can give him is like Derek White. Like that's kind of what you want from him to be is somebody who's just all around. He can mold into different roles. He's pretty good at everything he does, just not like great. Like it's just an average to good on everything he does. And he's just not a pull-up shooter. That's kind of his biggest thing. But he can make reads out of pick and roll. He can hostage dribble out of pick and roll, gets to the rim, shoots pretty decently at the rim, 62%. You'd love him because he's like an outlet passer galore. Like he had to have studied from Kyle Lowry just because how much he passes the ball ahead, hit aheads. And he has a good runner, man. Hostage dribble, plays within the system, smart defender. Guards 1 through 3 because he's a little small to guard forwards and stuff. But he's very strong too. So just not an ISO guy, man. I'd like to see him at 18.
Why is Chad asking what's his hairline statistics and how's his forehead for 100?
His forehead might be crazy.
Is
No,
it?
that's not his forehead. It's somebody else's.
Tiff also said. Tiff also said, "I knew if I stayed long enough, there'd be Max slander."
It wasn't me though.
It was Frankie. It was your beloved Frankie.
It was no slander. Yeah, no slander. It's Spo not playing.
Oh,
in
he
all
said
defensive
Derek White. I'm
line.
sorry, I didn't hear Derek White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his comp, kind of.
A bit of a plug. Brian and I are gonna be on Bleacher Report tomorrow talking about trades.
Oh,
So I was just answering the Bleacher Report guys. That's why I looked down. It wasn't full disclosure.
okay,
I totally was not listening as much as I should have because I had to get back to the Bleacher Report guy.
no, you're good. Kobe Jones is a very solid role player. Like I like him a lot. He's really good. I'm worried about his shot though because he did shoot very poorly from the free throw line.
Yeah.
But he's another guy that he's a star on his team in college. He's not going to be that in the NBA.
But thankfully, he doesn't have to be on this team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't have to be on this team either.
The good thing is he's a better above the break shooter than he is a corner shooter, so he can space out there. He
And
shot
the
like
Heat
46
love above the break shots.
Yeah, so he's a 46% above the break compared to 25% in the corner.
That's
So I
fucking
think
hilarious.
It's crazy. It's literally insane.
Well,
But
no,
yeah.
and I don't know how much of that is he's an off the dribble shooter as opposed to a spot up because when you're off the dribble, usually those are at the top of the key.
That's the thing. He kind of sucks off the dribble with his shots. He's just
weird.
a very good catch and shoot shooter from above the break. I don't. I guess he has to see the backboard.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Not that I'm like a good basketball player or anything, but I prefer to shoot above the break than on the corners. It's just I like seeing the backboard there. It just makes me feel safe.
You got to get G scouting report. Next time we play ball, I'm gonna give you.
Bro, the worst part is I'll pick a ball and like sometimes like you play with people and like they don't want to play like with people that set screens. I get
said
that.
Yeah.
But like what am I going to do? I fucking suck. That's all I can do. I'll fucking screen and roll and probably miss on the roll, but that's
She's like, I need a system, guys.
Sometimes I'll set like the Spain pick in the Spain pick and roll and they're like, "What the fuck you doing?" I was like, "I'm running Spain, damn it."
That's hilarious.
She's like, I need plays called for me, guys. I can't just create my own shot.
I get a fucking clipboard. All right, motherfuckers.
I'm gonna go with the guy that the Heat have worked out, and Leif has said that they really like him.
Oh yeah.
Nick Smith out of Arkansas.
Out of Arky.
I can kind of see I can see things they like about him. Let's say that he's a scorer first guard. He's 35.5% catch and shoot. he battled injuries all year, and he wanted to play because he felt like he had a really good team. He played with Anthony Black, who's going to be likely a top 10 pick. Jordan Walsh is going to be drafted, or he's going to be highly touted if he's unrestricted. He played with good players, and he wanted to be there. Has some defensive tools. Looks decent at the point of attack. Has some length. Has some good size. He looks to score. He moves off the ball and has really good form. The results were not there, though, and I don't know how much of that to attest to his injuries and playing through injuries. He's also skinny and not a great frame to put on weight. Like Lou's talked about being skinny, and like a lot of these guys, you're 19, they're 20, they're not able to put on weight. They need to get like a good meal plan. I don't think this kid's going to gain a lot of weight. He looks like 165 pounds. He looks like Worm from Men in Black.
It's crazy that they have him listed at like 180 something, right?
Yeah,
That's
I don't
crazy.
believe that. He's got to be like 165. He got 17% of his shots were at the rim. He doesn't get to the rim at all. He can't play through contact. He gets bounced off his spots because he's so skinny. He's not strong. He shot below 40% from the field and didn't shoot well from three. Like, I hope he's healthy, and like I don't wish anything bad to this guy. Like, he seems like a good kid, but I don't see like anything that would make me want him at 18. If he's a second round pick, I'll take him. I'll take a shot at him, but I'm not in love with this kid at all.
Yeah. To echo on the second half of what Frankie said. So, you know, when I start doing this, I look at mock drafts too. And he's a guy that I saw projected to us like 3 out of 5 mock drafts. I was like, okay, maybe let's go. Let's get into this guy. He was the worst grade I had given out. I fucking hate this guy. There's no other way I can say this nicely.
Is this the guy that Moose likes?
No. This isn't the guy that Moose likes. I'm not. This guy is worse.
Wow.
I just don't think he can play through contact. He's jump shot happy. His jumper is nice. That's the best thing he has going for him, but he sucks on defense. He can't guard anybody. He can't pass the ball, and he's a playmaker. I hope he does good in the NBA, just not for the Miami Heat. He can go somewhere else.
That's totally fair. And they're going to need guys that are culture pilled, and he doesn't sound very cultured. Tiff also said, if I'm setting a pic, she's waving me off in chat.
That's why I laughed.
Which I just could just imagine me coming up and Tiff's like, what are you doing? Get out of here.
If I'm starting to read he goes to set a pick, I'm leaving him. I'm going to go the hedge.
Rejecting. Go early.
I'm like, no, fuck this. Lou, do you want to talk about Moose's guy?
Oh man, I don't. I don't like Moose's guy.
Is this what we're gonna close with? Moose's guy?
I have one more guy.
Okay, you go real quick, then we'll close with Moose's guy and get out of here.
Go ahead. I'll just bounce off what you're saying.
This guy, he's projected from around like 13 to like 25. And I really like this guy. His name's Leonard Miller. G League Ignite guy. That he worked out last year for the I think he came out of prep school or something.
League? You can draft from the G League?
Yeah, the G League has a that they play prospects and stuff, and they have a couple of veterans so it doesn't get crazy. They good foundational stuff.
So do they play like do they play like against Booyah and shit?
Yeah. That's what he was watching.
Huh.
I was watching.
Scoot Henderson's there.
Scoot Henderson's in the Ignite?
Yeah.
No,
what?
He's
in the G League? He didn't play in college?
2 years. No, 2 years in the G League.
That's crazy. Yo, college is so dead. Let's go.
But anyways, this kid
I'm learning so much on this show.
That's what we're here for.
This kid is a specimen physically.
Yes.
Leonard Miller, he's 6'9.5" without shoes.
Whoa, I like that.
Wingspan. He's got a 215-pound frame, and he looks like he's like 230. Think frame-wise, he looks like James Johnson.
He's like Bam. He's bigger than Bam.
Yeah, he looks like James Johnson and Julius Randle. Like, that's how he looks like.
Chat says he moves
fucking
weird.
Big kid.
He does. It's awkward, but effective.
It is effective. He's very good finishing at the rim. 66.7% at the rim, 61.3 in the half court. He's he can handle at that size. He's a willing playmaker. Not great, but for his age and for his position, he makes great post entry passes. If you leave a cutter open, he'll make that pass. He can dribble with both hands. He loves to run and fill the lanes in transition. I think he's going to be more of a 4-5 tweener. But
that's what they need, so they don't have to
yeah,
play Cody Zeller.
Hold on. There's more. Defensively, I think he's really good. Defensively, I think there's very solid tools there. He uses his wingspan, his chest. He moves his feet well. Uses verticality, weak side help. He picks up blocks. I think he's really solid there all around. The shot form is rough. It is rough.
So
to
bad.
his credit, he shot 79% at the line, 32.1% on catch and shoot threes though. And when I saw his pro workday shot, it looked so much better. So he is definitely working at it. I told Lou when we were talking about this guy, take a look because it looks more like his form. It looks like they're inspired by Bosch. It looks a lot more like Bosch now. But even as his workout progressed, you can see him going down to the old tendencies. That's something he's got to work at. He's inconsistent defensively, which he's 19. I don't expect him to be elite there right now. You know, it's tough for young guys. But I think all the stuff he's not good at defensively, I think it's coachable. I think it's just consistency, reps, and drilling those kind of things. And I think the Heat are perfect for this kind of guy. Ball security issues. This is where he really does remind me of James Johnson. He's kind of sloppy with the ball.
Does he pass it into the fifth row?
No, he just dribbles it off
the
his
James
foot.
Johnson.
This is the Bam where he dribbles it off his foot.
Yeah, that's what he does.
The main concern for me is that I think he might need more reps to like reach his potential. Like I think he could be a role player right now, but I think he might need more reps than he can provide. If this kid was able to start off in the G League more, like to get some more reps in the Heat in the Skyforces system, learn their stuff. I think like midseason he'll be solid, real solid for them.
So,
but I don't know if this is a good pick at 18. This is an upside play though, because I think in the Heat system with their development, I think he could be really fucking good.
Will Knows Best said he looked like he's just learning how to walk.
No, yeah, he plays kind of funky, but I think everything kind of works in a weird way. Like he's very at the things he does good. I think he shows a lot of upside in those things. I do think he's kind of built like Bosch, but he's very strong for 215. Like he bullies people very good and stuff like that. So it's just interesting. Like Frankie said, I don't think he fits right now because he can't provide him as much minutes. And I think long term you would like him to be a 5 just because he can kind of play make out of that position. And if that shot starts hitting, it's funny because he's a very good free throw shooter and his mid ranger is actually pretty nice, but his form on threes is just down the drain bad.
He shoots it from like a shot put right here, like towards the stomach, and it goes up like that. It
splits his legs, scissor forward out. Anyways,
yeah, it's a lot of foundational stuff, but like he's been working at it since the season ended, which it always has encouraged me. Like if you're able to identify your own weaknesses and progress on it quickly, like I'm gonna be a fan. I think this kid could be very good, but I think there's bust potential. I mean, there's not really a bust at 18, but I think there's safer picks than this kid for my.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So they walk a very fine line because of everything that we've talked about, and that's why it sucks that the draft is before free agency. They might not need a guy that, hey, you gotta fucking play because we gotta get through the regular season. They might not need that, or they might desperately need that, and it's really hard to know. It's really hard to know.
Yeah,
all right, Lou.
I'm gonna go with the last guy.
So we have one more for you, and then Frankie, you have one last one, right?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Moose's guy.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna let Frankie pick because I'm stuck between two people. Should I do Brice or Sissoko?
Do Brice. I don't think they'll go Sissoko.
Okay. Shout out to Sissoko. Defensively, he reminds me of Jimmy Butler. That's all I'll get to.
Oh my god, I love that kid.
That kid is great defensively, but goddamn, he needs time. So Brice Sensabaugh, he's like I don't know what position he's gonna play. He's 6'6", 235. He's built like a tank. Just
built like
absolutely.
Lou Dort.
He's like
Bigger.
he's like Miami James Johnson, Joe Johnson, excuse me.
Yes, bigger. He's an insane scorer. 27 points per 40 minutes, was one of the best in college. He has great touch. He can post up, bully smaller guys. He can catch and shoot. Shot 40% from three
But
regularly. 80. Oh, his defense. Let's get to that. 83% at the free throw line, man. 46% on catch and shoot. Just
nice.
He is absolutely
Delicioso.
Delicioso on offense, and then just a little bit not so much on defense.
Diarrhea.
He's delicioso for the other team on defense.
It's funny because he's so
He is
damn
food.
big, but he can come off of he comes off of curls, DHOs. His pull up is very nice. It's silky. That's how you know it's real.
Silky.
And
Delicioso.
he's clutch. He gets to the rim a lot. He forces a lot of free throws, finishes through contact just because he's so damn big. I think the strength allows him to guard up. This is one of the good things on defense. I don't think his lateral quickness is that good. So I think maybe long term he's more of like a small ball 4 or like a big 3 kind of guy. He's not a very good playmaker, and his defense isn't what you'd like it to be. But I think the defensive mistakes are sometimes a matter of him just being sloppy and like not in the right place, and just very young because he's only 19, as opposed to because he has tools like 7'2" wingspan, 235. Like he can guard somebody with that weight.
Listen, you're that's Siobhan's language.
Yeah, no, he's low-key built like Haywood Highsmith. Just he can score this shit out the ball.
He's like Bizarro Haywood Highsmith. Can we merge them into one?
No,
That'd be the perfect player.
He's somebody I wouldn't mind.
Somebody-
Not
Will knows
somebody
best
I'd
said-
necessarily target.
Will knows best since he built like OG but can't defend.
Yeah,
Right.
no, it's great, but he can score it like a motherfucker.
Can we get him? Can he get cultured into being a defensive player, or is he not? Does he not have that dog in him on defense?
So I don't really think it's the dog part. I just literally think that wasn't his role. His role was he was actually like a 6-man, and he would come in and just fucking give people buckets.
He was Lou
like
Williams,
he would,
but he's built like
yeah,
OG.
he would get in the game and he would just, oh, you need a score? Shit, I'll. And he's efficient at everything he does offensively.
What team did he play for again?
He played for Ohio State.
Fucking Buckeyes.
Yeah, fuck the Buckeyes. But no, man, like Sensabaugh it's funny because somebody that big shouldn't be that smooth with the ball. Yeah, he's very smooth with
Delicioso.
like his jumper should not be the way. Like it is crisp. And he's, somebody
Creamy?
that I wouldn't say creamy now. But he shot 46% on above the break threes and 48% in the corner. Like the guy's a fucking sniper, man. And he's 6'6", 235. He has potential. I don't know if the Heat are going to go that way just because his defense and his passing isn't where you'd like it to be. But I don't think his role was to be a passer. And so yeah, that's my take on Brice Sensabaugh.
Yeah. I'm mixed on him because the offensive tools are loud, like absolutely loud.
Yes.
Scorer, finisher as a player, not above the rim. He's not a great athlete at all. He's a below the rim guy, but he's super skilled, especially at that age, at that size. He's a fucking truck.
He was coming off a torn meniscus too. I didn't know that. I actually saw that the other day, which is crazy. He did this off of surgery.
Yeah, I definitely see the intrigue. Would not mind him if the Heat are confident enough they can hide him defensively and teach him all that stuff. But I just don't think he's going to be a great enough defensive player where it's exciting to like. I don't know who he guards right now, and he's not a great team defender either. I'm hoping that's just being 19, being a bad defender, being a college kid that doesn't know how to play defense. A lot of those kids don't know how to play defense. And he wasn't very efficient. I think in one regard at the rim, I think it was, he had 53.1% true shooting percentage at the rim in the half court this season. And like, he's so strong. He needs to be a lot better. He had a below 1 assist to turnover ratio, which is always a red flag for me. And I try to stay away from those guys. But that's also sometimes that's a role thing too, where it's just he's a late clock guy where he's going to score more. He's not really creating for other guys. If Miami's confident and takes a swing at him, I can see the vision. A lot better than like Nick Smith, but I'm not. He's not my favorite guy at this spot.
All right, guys.
This is at the bottom of the list for guys I'd find acceptable.
Is that's Moose's guy or no?
No, Moose's guy.
Okay.
Moose's guy.
So we're gonna close on Moose's guy. I know that we ran a little long. Thanks for bearing with us. When those best says that your guy Luke.
This is what we're here for, man.
like
you want to
Buddy
draft? We're giving you everything.
Giving you
Lay it out on the
everything,
table.
Frankie. We don't gotta give Moose the screen time, but real quick, give us Alex Musabai's guy.
So we know this guy has worked out for Miami.
Is he
So
also Brian
we know
Goins' guy?
Yes.
He is Goins'
Okay.
guy as well. Brandin Podziemski out of Santa Clara.
Is that where Gabe went to school? No, he went to Santa Barbara.
No.
AKA,
Santa Barbara.
he has a cool nickname, by the way. AirPods. That's
Yeah,
pretty
he
dope.
does have a really
Considering
cool
he doesn't
nickname.
jump over a credit card. Continue.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're getting
He has
negative athleticism.
I wouldn't say
not. I wouldn't say that, but it doesn't really like he had like a 39 inch vert in the combine, but he doesn't show that in game. The
not
only time you
practical
really
use.
see it is rebounding at the guard position. He averaged like over 8 rebounds as a guard who doesn't really jump much. But the shooting is what you need to talk about because this guy has a case for best shooter in the draft too.
Yeah.
Elite touch, 43.8% from 3, 44% catch and shoot. From NBA range, shot 46%. Crazy. That is crazy. Quick shot, doesn't need much time or space. He doesn't get off the ground much. He has a very similar shot to like D'Angelo Russell. Very on the ground lefty. He started playing at 14, so for him to progress into potentially a first round pick at that, without great athleticism or size, he's only like 6'4". I don't have his size listed. But
Yeah,
he's like-
6'4", 205 with a 6'6" wingspan.
Yeah, he doesn't have great size for him to just jump up the rankings like this is really good. He's a good passer, good feel for the game. Considering he's still pretty new to it. 3.7 assists per game. Made some really nice wraparound passes. Makes the hit ahead passes. He's not a great separator on the ball, so you probably want him coming off screens, being a secondary ball handler. I just don't love his defense at all. Like, I don't know who he guards. He doesn't have great foot speed.
Well,
not
that
great
no wonder
laterally.
Moose loves him. Sounds like Tyler Hero.
Yeah,
Drew
I found
Crab.
out Moose has a type. I did. I
Moose
found out.
literally said, "Gee, if you want to go pull up his ESPN page and pull
Oh,
up his
please!
profile
Oh,
picture,
you got to. You got to.
What's
close
his
out
name
the video,
again?
like I think it'll be Brandin Podziemski. You
Brandon
have
with
no
an
chance
I.
of spelling it.
Pod.
I'm gonna put it in the.
I want to
chat.
try. I'm gonna try the spell it be. Okay, Brandon. I already misspelled Brandon. I put Brandon. Brandon.
It's Brandin.
Brand
Put
what?
it in the chat.
It's with an I.
Brand.
Yeah.
Brandi.
It's Brandin, Brandin.
Yeah.
D-I-N.
So AirPods.
So not Brandon. Brandin.
Brandon. Yes.
Okay, and then Pods. Okay,
Put it in
well,
the chat. There's no chance he would ever
There's
spell
no
it right.
chance. It has Z's,
P-O-Z.
DZ,
You forgot a D already.
Podziemski. Yeah, no, man,
AirPods.
Damn it.
It's wrong.
I just don't know who
What
he
the
guards.
fuck?
I think exactly. Cut that out, and show it to the chat to end the show.
That's a real
I just don't know who
person.
he guards. Yes.
I swear to God, he's never played like that though. He never played with that.
He looks like he says.
hairstyle.
He looks
He
like
did the Jimmy Butler.
he looks like Eminem's his favorite rapper.
Me and Lou were talking about him like Malibu's Most Wanted with this profile picture. I see the offense guy, but I worry he's Jimmer. He's just all offense, nothing on defense. And you cannot. I think it's way too high to at 18 to take that risk. That's him.
I'm Brandon Podziemski. I don't know how he talks. I haven't heard him speak, man.
Holy
Hey.
shit! Somebody
Brandon
says
Podziemski.
auto-generated GTA character.
Literally. Like he's very talented offensively. I see the hype, man. I see the hype offensively. And Moose literally said, "I'm rooting for this guy because he doesn't look like he should be doing the stuff he's doing." Insane shooter, insane. I just worry. I just don't know how good he is in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave 2 10s in shooting, which is like a perfect score, and it was him and Hawkins. There you go. Talk about it.
Yeah.
But his defense is he tries, which is something you want, but I don't know who he can guard. And the most appealing thing about him defensively is the fact that he averaged damn near 9 rebounds. So he closes out possessions. And he just started playing like, I think he's 19, or 20, 6 years ago. He just started playing basketball 6 years ago. But no wiggle, no one-on-one. My comp for him was a slower Luke Kennard.
He looks like
He's having too much fun.
He looks like he's a dude who tried to like rap by the bike rack in high school. You know what I mean? Like before school.
Oh yeah, Giancarlo like guaranteed making an AirPod song.
I think he and Tyler could be good friends.
Oh, they're
for sure.
They're already homies.
Listen, this guy's one Instagram video rapping saying the N-word away from getting canceled. I don't know. Is that dangerous? Maybe. Who knows?
Dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Dangerous assumption.
Do you remember when LeBron got in trouble for rapping and said something anti-Semitic?
Did he? I don't remember this.
I don't remember this.
He was like rapping a song and they said something anti-Semitic and he's just singing along. He's like, I want to apologize to the Jewish community. I was like, God damn, LeBron.
Oh God,
gotta know better.
That's funny.
Just
to
close this out. Yeah.
Just to wrap this up, there's a couple guys that we haven't talked about that we're not going to go too deep into that could fall. I could see Jalen Hood, Shafino falling potentially now with some guys climbing up the ranks. He's the 6'6" guard out of Indiana. Shout out to Jack. Solid guy. I don't know. I think he might. I don't think he's going to be there because I think Toronto has been linked to him heavy, and I could see them going for him. Jamie Jaquez from UCLA. Jaime. Leif already confirmed he's worked out for the Heat. He looks like a role player, and he's so funny. I love his game. He's such a weird role player. Like he loves the mid-range post ups. He's like 6'7". He loves posting up. He's so weird. I love him though. I love his game. He's so awkward.
Get weird.
He tries. He's a passion culture guy for them over there. They keep talking about him like he's a pure winner for UCLA, and he's just like a dog every time he steps on the floor.
For sure.
And he can score and get his own. It's just
I want him to go undrafted so Miami can get him.
Oh, what? But he's been projected as high as 19. I'm saying. So.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be there. You have to buy a pick to get there. And then the last guy I wanted to touch on was Gigi Jackson out of South Carolina.
Oh God,
this guy might be the most upside pick. He was projected like top 5 preseason. He was extremely hyped. A lot of people think that if he stayed in college another year, he would be the number 1 pick next year. I see what they say. He's 6'8". He's got a lot of skill. Nothing translated to college, though. He shot below 40%. He looks comfortable handling the ball, shooting the ball. Form looks great. It's just no results. Absolutely no results. I wish he stayed in college one more year to really develop his game, but somebody's going to take a flyer on him. I don't think it's Miami. I think he's got way too many holes in his game. Yeah, there's immaturity issues that, they're all young kids, but for immaturity for that age to come up, in the workouts and the interviews, that kind of shies me away. I don't think he's a Heat guy. I think some team will take a shot at him though. If Heat had a 2nd round pick, I would absolutely take a shot at him because of the talent.
He's the youngest player in the draft too.
My last thing before we go is no international guys you mentioned. Now Miami obviously went international with Jovic last time, kind of a departure for them. I know that's not something they've done a ton, but obviously, it's kind of a new age. So nobody international that was kind of on your radar.
So there's a guy who's been mocked to us by ESPN like 3 times. Ryan Rupert. I don't know how to say. He plays in New Zealand. Yeah, but he's French. I despise him for this team. I think he makes no sense. Yeah, I literally think he just makes no sense. And I'm not even like sometimes like
You're not even hating.
I'm not even trying to hate. Like he's just very raw. I don't know. He plays defense kind of, but he's a little too skinny. He's a pure shot in the dark, like upside pick. I'd much rather have somebody like Sissoko who played in the G League Ignite, who was just like dominated games defensively, and like that team who's full of like high profile, because the Ignite team is basically a bunch of high school kids that come out and they play in the G League, and they're like highly touted high school athletes. He played like he didn't like he's French as well. He came over and just filled whatever role. I think he has so much to his game. I wish Miami can take this guy, but he is not in their timeline.
Yeah.
Like that is my upside swing.
Me and Lou both love this guy separately. He's like 6'8". He's got great like 225. He's like the exact same size as Jimmy.
He's literally Jimmy Butler physically.
He's like Jimmy Butler. He has anger issues. He can handle. He can play make out of the pick and roll. He can pass. He's got a decent enough shot. Not like it's definitely a weakness, but he's a willing shooter on open shots. Makes good reads. Good pocket passer. Good finisher with both hands in the half court. Can get to the rim too. I just think that he's not at the level where you would trust him in a role right now. And I think the Heat need a safer guy, but he's definitely an upside swing. I think if he interviewed well, I could see the Heat going for him.
Yes.
And plus he whooped the Skyforce's ass. I think he dropped like 30 on them.
Dogged them, and he just got better as the year went on. I heard there was a role switch for him, and he was just accepting every role, which is kind of what you want with somebody who's 19, especially when he played with Leonard Miller and Scoot Henderson. Like, he was just doing whatever it took. He even drives like Jimmy Butler. Like, he doesn't have much wiggle to his game. He just absolutely overpowers you, gets to the right side of the rim and says, guard me here, I dare you, and he just goes right up over the defense. His shooting is the biggest concern, and just how much wiggle is in his ISO game. But much was said about Jimmy as well. So, but he is an effort guy. He's a Heat guy, so I wouldn't be shocked if he is on the team.
And gentlemen, that was a 1.5 hour draft preview. You're only getting, who else gives you an hour and a half of draft coverage? Just the best of the best here from, myself, Frankie, the AirPod kid, Lou, all of us here at Heat Beat. Just, I wish I could have photoshopped a little mouth flap.
Oh God.
Just like you guys gotta get ready.
Hey, I'm AirPods.
Oh, my AirPods. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you. On a serious note, remember our Pride show. I'll uncover myself for just 1 second. Hold on. I'll leave the other ones. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
My two co-hosts. We have our Pride show on the 27th. Make sure you're here for that. We're going to give out prizes. We're going to have fun guests. We're going to do a lot of fun activities. The giveaways this year are as good as ever. So make sure on the 27th of June. So after the draft, we're going to talk lots of stuff, have a great time. It'll be the final hangover time, the very last hangover time. It'll be for Pride. We're raising money for Trans Social, which is a great organization for trans kids. And we tweeted out kind of what they do with their mission statement and everything that they do. And they're raising money to help people even fly them out of state in some instances where it's difficult. It's difficult for some low income trans people to get the medical attention that they need. And Trans Social is a local organization. They're helping with prescription copay assistance for anybody that's low income, expanded emergency relief that includes helping trans folks travel out of state to access gender affirming care. That includes the air and ground transportation, medical visit costs. They help with name and gender change make assistance, affirming medical and mental health referrals, peer supported groups and events, and all that stuff that really just drives our community home. So, we have a donation link. It's on our Twitter account. It's our pinned tweet on @MIAHeatBeat on Twitter if you can find it in your heart. And if you donate some money, you're entered to win some fucking cool ass prizes. So be there for that, and truly, not to make this about me, as I'm next to two pictures of AirPod in the most ridiculous, maybe Pride statement ever. But it was always, quick anecdote about my grandmother, who I mentioned at the top of the show, passed, and today's show, as ridiculous as it was, I do in her honor. She always helped everybody that she met. She would meet strangers. My grandmother once met strangers that were homeless, brought them into her home and opened a drawer and made a crib for a child. That's the kind of person that my nonna was. So if you can find it in your heart to be as giving as her, if you have the means, please check out our donation link and you'll be entered to win fun stuff anyway. And tune in with us on June 27th as we have a lot of fun. And listen, we got the draft show. I believe we're live tomorrow. I believe Moose is live tomorrow with Brian. If I'm mistaken, so you get extra bonus draft content with those bozos and whatever else we have planned. We may have a guest. I don't know.
AirPod show. It's just going to be an AirPod show.
It's just going to be an AirPod show. I'll leave them the graphics. But we love you guys. We'll see you, I believe, tomorrow. If not, for the draft, and catch Brian and I on Bleach Report tomorrow. We'll tweet out all the links for that and everything. We love you. Peace. AirPods.